Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So, it's decision time. Today is the day we're going to have that press conference where Fed Chair Powell announces what the decision is. Are we going to have a cut or no cut? That is what everyone is waiting for this morning. So that is why we had some volatility. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about what to expect. Is this a good thing or not a good thing? And let's talk about everything else that's going on in the world of crypto today. All right, let's do it. Welcome, guys. Good morning. Today is the big day. And we're starting out a day a little bit lower than yesterday at 104.4. Obviously, yesterday we broke into new high territory of 108. So we're slightly lower than yesterday. Okay. So this is definitely not time to be panicking. I don't think anyone is panicking, but if anyone is panicking, please stop. Anything above 100,000 does not warrant panic. But yeah, we're seeing a little pullback. We can't break into a new high every single day, like we saw Tuesday, Monday, Sunday. But yeah, we're pulling back a little bit because of this big FOMC meeting that started yesterday, will conclude today. And, everyone's wondering what Powell's going to do, even though it's pretty much baked in that he's going to cut the Fed fund rate. In fact, look at this. CME is predicting a 98.8% chance that there will be a cut. This is pretty much 100% certainty that there will be another 25 basis point cut. Okay. But the reason why there's this worry is because we had two inflation readings recently. CPI ticked up a little bit, but that was expected. But then PCE came out, and then that ticked up a little bit more, which was unexpected. So there are some on Wall Street, and there was one Fed president that came out that argued that there should be no cut. So this got some on Wall Street a little bit worried. So some are thinking maybe Powell can do something drastic today and say, well, you know what? I'm not going to cut today. I'm just going to leave it the way it is and wait until next time. But whenever we speculate on something that may happen, it has always been wrong. This percentage has always been correct. He never does anything drastic. He has always done what people have expected him to do. So there is going to be a rate cut. It's basically a 99% chance there is going to be a rate cut. So I don't really know what the big fuss is about. If he does somehow say, we're not going to cut because inflation is worrying me, knock on wood, let's say if he does do that, it would absolutely decimate markets. But he would not do that. He would not do that. But, if he did, that would decimate markets. But, again, that would a 1% chance that happens. The way the economy is right now, the reason why he won't do that is because even though inflation is ticking up, the economy is not doing well. If you look at all the data points that has been coming out, everything from consumer sentiment to retail sales, even the quarterlies from like Walmart, Target, all these big box stores, they're all on a decline. Their forecast is not good. Pending home sales, new home sales, automaker sales, everything that you can measure. GDP is not growing. Everything is shrinking. The economy is just not doing well. We need a liquidity injection. So that is why he needs to cut, right? Ultimately, that's the reason why. It's much worse to wait than just do it now. So I think there's less than 1% chance that he's not going to cut. But again, I guess we'll see. We don't need to speculate. We just need to wait a few hours. The press release will come out approximately in 4 hours, 4.5 hours. It should be approximately 1 p.m. Central Standard Time or 2 p.m. Eastern. And then he's going to do his press conference. And then the reporters will ask a whole bunch of questions. And then we'll go from there. Now, every time, okay, not every time, but majority of the time, leading up to the press conference and during the press conference, you have a lot of volatility. So right now, we're already seeing some volatility. The U.S. market is not opening up well, red. Bitcoin is seeing, you can see a little volatility here. This happens every single time we have a FOMC meeting, right? And during the press conference, you see it more. And sometimes after a press conference, you see it more. It happens every single time. Every single time. And then generally speaking, afterwards, and it's not immediate. Sometimes you have to wait until nighttime. And that's when you start seeing the upswing. It's like clockwork every single time. And we've seen this, like I've covered this for years, and a lot of you guys have seen this too, where there's just like this phenomenon, like Wall Street doesn't know what to think, and then they wait a while, and then finally they realize, okay, we're clear, and then they start buying again. So that's just usually how it happens. So today, the entire day will probably be a little rocky, a little shaky. The volatility will be the entire day. Just to let you guys know, maybe even after the FOMC meeting, all the way until probably tonight when I'm streaming. But it might correct before that. We'll see. It might not. It might correct even right after the press conference. But you know what? Like I've been saying, even in the 90s, even in the 60s and 70s, what do you do when we have volatility, especially in the 90s and 100s, right? Whenever there are dips, you treat them as gifts, okay? Because things are getting too expensive. So you gotta see them as buying opportunities, right? There should be no question at this point. With Bitcoin at $104,000 and 108 just a day ago, there should be no question that we are going a lot higher. Okay, the Santa rally is in effect. We still have 2 weeks to go. After we get past this FOMC meeting, the sky is clear. There's nothing else holding us back, right? And let's not forget, we have an entire 2025 to go, right? So any volatility that we have is a good thing. It's like going to your favorite store and seeing your favorite item or items at a discount. That's the only way to view it. Honestly, it's not even being discounted when you compare how high things are now versus a week ago or versus a month ago, because things have gone up so much since a month ago or even a week ago. We're only comparing it versus like a day ago, where it's discounted. It's not discounted versus a week ago or a month ago, but still, you know, this is how we rationalize it, because things aren't going to get much cheaper. They're only going to get more expensive, right? And that's how the whales are thinking, because if you're looking at like what's happening behind the scenes, the whales are not selling. Whales keep on accumulating. They're not selling. Only the retail people are scared and they panic sell. I mean, I talk about the institutions and ETFs, and I'll talk about them more, and sailors and BlackRocks of the world. But I mean, you just have like random whales, no one knows who they are, that are buying hundreds of millions of dollars. 3 whales bought 120 million, over 1,000 Bitcoin after the recent pullback. 1,000 Bitcoin, like it's nothing. Okay, I can't buy 1,000 Bitcoin like it's nothing. I mean, that's the thing, you know. Whenever retail panics and they panic dump, it's just going in the pockets of the whales or the institutions. That, you know, it's like a wealth transfer, right? I've said this before for over many years. When you sell, you're transferring your gains, your life-changing wealth, your financial freedom to others that probably don't need it. You're transferring to the whales that already have it. You want to keep it for yourself, right? That's the name of the game. Or you as a retail investor want to buy it from others. So honestly, that's how you got to view it, guys. I mean, like with Bitcoin at 100,000 plus, there should be zero worries at this point. Anyone that is worrying, I mean, just you got to retrain your brain at this point. MicroStrategy and others, you know, Michael Saylor and others, you know, they know what's up, okay? They keep on taking more debt to buy billions. As a retail investor, you should never take on debt to buy crypto, okay? That's the difference between retail and institutions. If you're an institution, you're a public trade company, you could take on debt to buy Bitcoin or crypto, you know, but as a retail investor, don't ever do that. But they can't, because they, you know, they have the ability to. But as a retail investor, don't do that. But these guys, they will continue to do so and do so and do so some more until they grab enough Bitcoin, which in Saylor's case is never enough. It will never be enough, right? And here's another one, Exodus. Some of you guys may use their wallets. Exodus, you know, they've been around for a while. They're going public. They hold 1,900 Bitcoin, which is quite a lot. They're going public today on a New York Stock Exchange. Their symbol is EXOD. That's actually pretty big news. Pretty big news. So now, those of you guys, you know, a lot of you guys, you know, trade stocks, and you're always asking for some kind of exposure. Obviously, MSTR is the biggest one and probably the best one. And then you got like Coinbase, you got Robinhood, you got a lot of mining stocks. Now you have a wallet maker that you could actually buy. I don't know how they're I don't know if they like, I don't know how profitable they are, what their revenue source is or anything like that. Or if they're just like buying Bitcoin like MicroStrategy. But you know what? We'll see. But they're coming out. They're being listed today. What else is there? Strategic reserve. You know, we know next year the U.S. is going to have a huge strategic reserve of Bitcoin. States are going to have it. Different countries are going to have it. I mean, it's just goodness all around. And what does that go do for Bitcoin? Well, according to Bitwise, their chief investment officer, he thinks that it could drive Bitcoin to $500,000, right? So for people that think, well, Bitcoin is 100,000 plus, I can't make any money with Bitcoin, right? It's too high. I need to go FOMO into memes or FOMO into something else that's cheaper, because There's no way I can make any money on Bitcoin now. I mean, think again. Sure, there's probably more upside in a lot of the altcoins, but that doesn't mean that you can't make money with Bitcoin. Going to $500,000, that's still a 5x potential, right? But who knows? That's just this cycle. We could continue forward. And if other countries start FOMOing in and creating strategic reserves for themselves, that's just the beginning. That really is the beginning, right? So you don't want to overlook Bitcoin. That's the point. You don't want to overlook it. And having Bitcoin in your portfolio, it becomes a staple, becomes the rock, right? Whenever we have volatility, right? Bitcoin provides that stability in your portfolio. When all the altcoins tank, Bitcoin is what you want in your portfolio. So it's never too late to add Bitcoin to your portfolio. Here we go. This is a pretty staggering stat for those of you guys that are gold bugs or hold gold. Yesterday, it was reported that the AUM in Bitcoin ETFs and cumulative have surpassed gold ETFs. This is staggering. This is just from BlackRock. BlackRock's iShares for their Bitcoin is almost double than their iShares for gold ETF. It took 20 years for BlackRock's gold ETF to reach 33 billion AUM. And it only took 11 months to reach 58 billion. That tells you something. That tells you something, okay? So for people that think that Bitcoin can't catch up to gold's market cap, think again. This shows you the demand for Bitcoin versus the demand of gold. And Bitcoin needs to get up to like $700,000, $800,000 to reach the market cap of gold. But if this is any indication of the demand for Bitcoin versus gold, Bitcoin will be right up there in no time. It's not going to take 20 years. It may just take 5 years, maybe even less than that. It is crazy. It is crazy to think about. All right, last few things. Bollinger Bands showing that Bitcoin is ready to move much higher, being squeezed. Again, I think it's just this FOMC meeting. Afterwards, after we get through the volatility of today, we are ready to pump to the moon with the Santa rally. I really think it's the right time. Last year, it started happening right around now. In 2020, the last halving of the year, we started right around now. It's just this FOMC meeting. That's what people are fearful of, right? Fearful of Powell not cutting the rate today, which I think is already baked in. It really is. See that big climb? It starts like right now. Like right now. That's where it starts. So it's going to get really exciting. It's going to get really, really exciting. All right. Outside of Bitcoin, what else is there? Solana. Bitwise is tired of waiting for Solana ETF to get approved in the US. So they're launching ETPs in Europe, which is good. There's a lot of ETF talk in America. XRP may be getting ETF. Yesterday I talked about maybe Hedera's getting one, Litecoin's getting one. Everyone may be getting one in 2025. There's going to be a lot of ETFs. And you may get bucket ETFs, like you may get like 2 or 3 or 5 crypto in one ETF. That would be pretty cool. But Solana overall is still going nuts, okay? Fundamentals of Solana in terms of like TPS and usage and volume and DEX usage and everything that you can measure still sky high. Again, a lot of people are wondering why Solana is not moving up. A lot of people took profits in Solana and putting in others, right? Solana broke through its all-time high already. Now came down a little bit because people are taking profits and putting in others. But fundamentally, Solana is like killing it. You guys know that. And the memes are still killing it. So that hasn't changed. But there are a lot of others, like Chainlink, for example, right? That has been doing really, really well. Whales are FOMOing into Chainlink and many others because for many reasons, they're just doing well. And that's why money's being spread out. It's good. A lot of these crypto are still very undervalued. They're still far off from their 2021 high. So still not too late to DCA into them before they get back up and break through. All right. That's pretty much it. Let's see. US market is still like kind of mixed. MicroStrategy and Coinbase a little bit red today. Everyone's waiting for this guy to give his announcement. All right, let's do some Q&A. Lively crowd this morning. Yeah, 6,400 people in there. Weigh in. What do you think about Polygon? They're definitely behind the curve this cycle. They're losing a lot of momentum to a lot of the other L1s, L2s. And they caused a lot of confusion with their switch to pull. And behind the scenes, I'm hearing they're not doing so well either. So, yeah, they're not doing that well. Warren, was that a fake out altcoin season or what? It was never altcoin season. If you've been watching me, I said altcoin season doesn't start until tail end of a 4-year cycle. We're not at a tail end. What's been pumping are the narratives, right? We had a few. We had the 4, like Hedera, Algorand, Stellar, and XRP. Oh, and Cardano, because they were working with those. They're American based, and you know they were pumping because of that. Some were pumping because you know they were associated with Trump or had meetings with Trump, right? So there was that Trump narrative too. And some were just doing well because, you know, they're associated, they had memes or something or big volume going, right? So there were a few particular ones that were doing well, but we were never in altcoin season. And I think the AI narrative, you know, some of the AI stuff popped because of the AI narrative, because NVIDIA was very hot, but yeah, it was never true altcoin season. Bitcoin dominance continues to be very high and strong. Next week, MicroStrategy gets added to the NASDAQ 100, and then QQQ starts buying MSTR. That could be pretty big. That means all QQQ investors will get some Bitcoin exposure. So that's pretty cool. Heath, thank you. Stacks already has 160 Bitcoin staked since yesterday. Hope you and the family have a good Christmas. Thank you. 160 Bitcoin is not bad. It's first day. They released synthetic Bitcoin where you can stake your Bitcoin, get synthetic Bitcoin, get some yield. It's not bad. Darks, Soldier. I agree with you on maybe it being a super cycle with everything coming in 2025. If you heard of the Solana network, not a meme coin, ETH, layer 2. It sounds very familiar. Sound familiar, but not off the top of my head. No. There are a lot of layer 2s, man. A lot of layer 2s. On Coinbase, which is good. Came out in 2019, had a little pump in 2021, had no movement so far this year. Not looking great. I'm pretty sure I looked at this before. They just rebranded their website. $45 chain supported. 175 tokens supported. SDK, bridge. It doesn't seem like they're L2. It seems like they're more like a bridge. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I looked at this before. They're more like a bridge that connects the other L2s together. Yeah, maybe they're a chain that connects the L2s together. That may be a more appropriate description. I mean, it sounds pretty decent. They're on Coinbase, they're on Binance, that's good. But looking at this, they have basically not a lot of traction. They're really far off their 2021 high. And yeah, that's it. They may be lost right now in the field of, you know, the other L1s, L2s, and bridges. Shili? What's your cycle high for Ando and Hedera? Yeah, I'm just not going to give price predictions, but both of those are solid. I'll just say that. Ando, especially RWA, you know, it caught a lot of traction recently. I'm just not a fan of RWA of treasuries, but they have been doing very well. Hedera also, I mentioned being like one of the top 4 and being in the US, and they recently just they onboarded Chainlink, so that's also pretty good too. Earl, is there a place to send some fan art to CRU? Physical fan art? No. Thank you, though. I appreciate it. I appreciate that I'd effect on you, but yeah, no need to send me fan art. I wouldn't know what to do with it anyways. But I appreciate it. It's the thought that counts. Parsk? I don't... It sounds familiar, but I don't recall what Parsk is, man. Any karate updates? You know what? There's a big fight tomorrow. Finally, it's been a nightmare. This December fight has been like delayed and pushed back and venue changes, but there's finally gonna be one tomorrow. And there's one IFC fight between these gamers, Kaji and Paisan. So that's gonna be the IFC fight tomorrow, and then there's gonna be a main event tomorrow. It's gonna be in Fort Lauderdale. What are your thoughts on Ton? Better plays? You know what? Ton really, really cooled off. They were so hot earlier this year, because of Hamster Combat and the other not coin, because of the clicky games, and it really worked during like the boring times. They were the only DApps, that worked before everything started pumping, and now like no one talks about them, and it has really not done anything recently for them. But Toncoin is still sticking around at number 14, but they really have not moved at all. Look at them. In the last 60 days, they're only up 9%, while everything else is up like 100% or 70%. Ton really lost a lot of momentum. So yeah, at this point, the momentum shifted. They only went up because of all those clicky games, and now it's like those clicky games just don't have any effect. People just like put in other stuff. I mean, like, look at Hedera, up like almost 500% in the last 60 days. People are just putting money everywhere else, not in Ton. Deputy Dog, don't get fired. Mohammed, do you think Solana will be back at all-time high by the end of this year? I think so. I think after this FOMC meeting and, we get this catalyst push upwards, the Santa rally pushes up, back up, I think we're going to get a good rally on everything, not just Bitcoin. I think we're going to get a really good push for about a week and a half on everything to conclude the year. And I think there could be a good chance that Sol gets back to his previous high. We see it like every year. Like we get this like good week, like this crazy week of like goodness. Of course, I could be wrong. Of course, we can not get it this year, but I don't see why not. Mint layer, 7.7 million. This is really small. And it doesn't look good when FTV is like almost 50 million. So there are a lot of tokens not released. Yeah, there's still a lot that's waiting to be released. Unlock, progress. 63% unlocked. There's still like 40% left to go. It sounds familiar. Not on the greatest exchanges. I'll look at that later. Mohammed made over 100K on a meme coin within 48 hours. Trying to get myself out of 9 to 5. Pray for me. If you made that, you should probably cash out before you lose it. So that doesn't happen every single day. Should probably take that out and buy a Bitcoin with it. Actually, don't listen to me. That's not financial advice, but it's rare for someone to make that much on a meme coin. Congratulations, but yeah, it's probably advisable to take profits. Phantom is about to go through its upgrade to Sonic soon. They haven't released a date yet, but that could definitely help them going forward. That's supposed to be a big upgrade for them. A pretty big upgrade. Is it live now? I just covered it the other day, and it didn't have a ETA. How come the symbol didn't change? Ooh, it is live. Oh, it's live. 46 minutes ago. You guys are fast. Yeah, it was live 46 minutes ago. Right when I streamed. You guys can't hear the sound, but it actually sounds pretty cool. What did that say? 10,000 transactions per second, sub-second finality, EVM compatible, 90% of app fees. Those are pretty impressive numbers. The symbol is going to be changed to Sonic, I believe. And they haven't done that yet. And somehow it's tanking right now, 14% down. What is EVM compatible? That means it's EVM compatible. That means Ethereum virtual machine. It could use Ethereum virtual machine. Basically like the same code, basically. Black Wisdom, the Fed meeting did not happen yet. That is happening in a few hours, around 1 o'clock. Thoughts on Sui memes? I have not been covering it. Dirty Degens have. So you guys need to tune in Dirty Degens. There will be I don't know if there will be a show this afternoon because they're traveling. But from what I hear, they're doing well. Sui memes have been doing well. And it's one of the reasons why Sui has been doing well, because their memes have been picking up. So, you know, a lot of chains hate to embrace memes, but memes drive people and volume. And, you know, that's why a lot of chains are doing well. It's one of the big reasons why Solana is doing well. I think it's one of the big reasons why Sui is doing well now. And there's a lot of chains that are still not trying to embrace it. Now that I invested in XRP, was a short to long-term outlook in the price movement? I mean, I think long-term, I've said this, I think it's easily could go to like $7 to $8 this cycle. Especially since, you know, Ripple has a lot of things going on. You know, I think they're changing a lot of they're changing the original thesis for XRP, which is fine. But now that the SEC is not on their back or will not be on their back, you know, that's going to be a good thing. And now that, you know, the US, the landscape of crypto in the US is going to be changing in 2025, that definitely helps them greatly. That changes the narrative greatly for them in 2025 and moving forward. XRP Warrior, what do you think about XLM? I don't think much about XLM. They track the movement at XRP. If you look at it, if XRP goes up, XLM goes up. The charts are almost identical. The only good thing about XLM is the market cap is much smaller, so you could argue maybe the upside is a little bit better. But I have no idea what XLM is doing. Like, I really don't know what they're doing. Top 3 crypto to DCA into besides BTC and Sol. Man, I don't know, man. I don't know. That's too tough. Too tough at this point. I don't know. Avalanche, Sui, Chainlink, something like that. I don't know. No, I put XRP in there now. Probably XRP, Sui, Avalanche, something like that. That's outside of Bitcoin and Sol. No, I'm not gonna live stream the FOMC meeting. It's too long, and I hate hearing those reporters ask the same question over and over and over again, just in a different way. Like, I don't know how Powell, like, I don't know how he could go through those press conferences. I would be so annoyed because it's like he answers the question, and then the next reporter just asks the same question in a different way, and and he has to repeat what he said in a different way, and he does it for like an hour. So, like, yeah, I will just recap it at tonight. That's what I'll do. Max, Cat is doing better than I expected for the Knicks. Me too. I think he's just trying to prove a point. He's just mad that he got traded, so he's trying to prove that, you know, Timberwolves made a mistake, which is good for him. It's, you know, that's what you want to do. You want to prove yourself, right? Or you want to prove to everyone that you're capable of doing more. So, good for him. Good for him. I'm really disappointed with the Lakers again. I thought Redick was a good coach and they were doing good things beginning of the season, and now it seems like things are collapsing again. I don't know what's going on. Fat Colonel, do you think it's realistic that no capital gains tax will be implemented under Trump for U.S. coins? No, I don't think that's realistic. I don't think that's realistic. That would be too good. Yeah, I don't think so. Thoughts on Dog? I don't have any thoughts on Dog. It's a rune on Bitcoin. Never followed it. I don't know. I mean, it's done well. I mean, it could continue to do well. I don't know what other thing I could share about it. Yeah, I think Lakers does have a good lineup. Connect is an awesome rookie, and who's that? Reeves is a good player, like a really good player, and AD's doing really well, not really injured, and LeBron is LeBron, and Hachimura does well, and I mean, I don't know what it is. They just can't play D or something. Like, I don't know. They should be winning a lot more than they are. Star Atlas, you know, they're still hanging around. I met, you know, I forgot the founder's name. I met him a few times earlier this year. Nice guy. He's really hustling to try to make the game as good as it can. So I think they could come back. Hopefully. Craig Smith heads up. 25% of the 24 volume is from exchanges in Singapore. Okay, what does that mean? Is that good or bad? I don't know what that means. That means 75% of the volume is not from those exchanges. So, all right. Anyways, to conclude, yeah, we got a little volatility today. Little volatility, and probably more, because of this guy. People don't know if he's going to cut the Fed fund rate today or not, even though it's been, it's predicted there's a 98.8% chance that he will, but there are some that think that he won't. So there will be some volatility. There always is during FOMC press conference. That's coming up around 1 o'clock Central Standard or 2 p.m. Eastern. So I guess we'll see, right? Prepare yourself. There'll be some volatility. But remember what I've been saying. Dips are gifts. Dips are our friends at this point. There should be no question at all at this level, at 100,000 plus, that we are going to go much higher. The supply shock is in effect. Right, in 2025 is going to be an absolutely fantastic year. So no reason for panic. Continue to do what you're doing. DCA and HODL. And I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Smash it a like. Subscribe to the channel. See you guys tonight. And watch the FOMC press conference if you can. All right.